support our coverage with a free account on Privacy, the service that keeps you protected when shopping online. Get $5 to try it now by using promo code QZZ2J.
And we're ready to go. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Hi.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you.
My pleasure. I'm Don Bain, and people know me as the Gadget Professor. Yeah. And we're thrilled to have you here. It's Owl AI.
That is correct.
And it's Mr. Chuck Gershman, and he is the founder of this company. And tell us all about it. I'm very curious.
Well, at Owl AI, we're all about saving lives.
That's a good thing.
So the unfortunate statistics is that here in the United States, we have seen a massive increase in pedestrian fatalities. Over the last decade, we've seen an increase of nearly 77% of pedestrian fatalities.
Probably Arizona is right up there with...
Arizona's right up there. Nice big wide roads, right?
Yes, yes.
But when you drill down on these statistics a little bit further, you see some other things. So 2022 was the most dangerous year in the United States for pedestrians in 41 years.
Why?
Well, that's a great question. Just recently, the New York Times ran an in-depth, multi-piece articles investigating that very problem. In fact, it was just on the Daily last week.
Okay.
And they've come up with numerous reasons for potentially why this is occurring. But the big issue that they came up with, that the New York Times discovered, was the preponderance of all of these fatalities, the difference between the steady state and the extended growth, almost 100% occurred at night. So this is a nighttime phenomenon.
Almost 100%?
Almost 100% of the increase in deaths occurred at night.
Okay.
So how do we address that problem? Well, at Owl AI, we develop a night vision safety system for cars.
Wow.
We are demonstrating this here at the show, and we've so our system is able to see in zero light, no light whatsoever, and it can see for hundreds of meters. And we can see people, we can see animals, we can see cars.
Infrared?
And then we use thermal infrared.
Thermal infrared, okay.
And we couple that with artificial intelligence to do perception software. Now, I want to backtrack a little bit. There is some good news here. The good news is that the statistics that I just read off to you are not unfamiliar to the U.S. government. In fact, in the 2021 infrastructure bill, the Congress wrote mandated line items into the bill requesting that the Department of Transportation, which is and NHTSA specifically, address this nighttime pedestrian safety problem. NHTSA is come forward with a set of mandatory regulations that says that every car, truck that is sold in the United States by the end of 2028 must be able to automatically brake for pedestrians at night.
Really?
Independent of the driver. The systems need to be designed that they will alert the driver to an issue, and if the driver fails to react, the system is designed such that the computer can take over, brake the car safely before you strike a pedestrian.
That's legislated?
That is a mandatory legislation
Wow.
that will be going into effect, and it will be about 3 years for automobile manufacturers to basically implement these systems.
Well, they better start implementing it now, because 3
So,
years is coming up quick.
Great question. So a year ago, they floated a preliminary version of the specification. And at Owl, we took that preliminary version of the specification. We went to Detroit with our system. We hired a test track. We hired a test driver and a third-party test house. And we ran all the test cases with our existing technology that we have today. We ran a small little dummy that we call Timmy, about 3 feet high, that was heated on a track. And you drive the car down the track to 45 miles an hour, you trigger a laser which gets Timmy to run in front of your car, and you need to brake. We did this 12 times, minus 2 degrees Celsius in the middle of the night, wind blowing about 30 miles an hour. We never ran over the dummy.
Timmy's okay?
Timmy's good, well, with a caveat. The IIHS, which is another independent test house called the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, which is run by the insurance industry, ran the same set of tests in Washington, D.C. on their test track. Little Timmy's not so good. 21 cars, 21 Timmy accidents.
Ooh.
Yeah, so systems today do not solve this problem. Now, some of the things that we do a little bit differently. Not only do we solve this problem, not only do we address it with thermal imaging, not only do we build state-of-the-industry artificial intelligence perception, but we build the highest resolution, highest performance thermal camera ever manufactured for an automotive case. The state of the industry for thermal cameras today is, for those of your viewers who know what a VGA monitor is, for those of us who are old enough to remember the VGA,
yes,
we had them. We had the funky little cable. We plugged them in.
Unfortunately, I remember it.
And what happened when you got an HD monitor? What'd you do with that VGA monitor? Right in the trash.
eBay.
There you go. Today's state of the industry for HD cameras is VGA. We have just introduced, and what we're showing at the show today is an HD camera.
All right.
We're going to throw those VGAs in the trash.
All right.
Yep, that's where we're at.
Now, your system is up, running, and in existence. Is that correct?
We are up and running and demonstrating the capability of the system today, and we can put them on cars. We have proof of concept systems. We have more than a dozen proof of concept systems in field on 3 continents with automotive OEMs, automotive tier 1s, trucking companies in field today.
But to date, your system is not incorporated in any product.
That is correct, and that needs to change, and it needs to change quickly.
When's that going to change? Actually, they don't have a choice. They got to move on this.
They have basically 3 years to get this done.
And your purpose of being here at CES is to find those auto manufacturers and show them what's going on?
Our purpose here, actually, I'm going to rephrase your question. They're finding us.
Okay.
We have been
inundated. Better.
We've been inundated for the last 2.5 days with every name brand OEM you can imagine, every tier 1. They're all coming to see what we're up to.
That's awesome.
Yep, that's great.
And you're ready to deploy this. There's no more testing that needs to be done or verification.
There's a little. There's
certification.
Always. It's automotive, so you just can't take it out of the lab and put it in the car. To qualify a product for automotive is usually a 2 to 3 year life cycle.
I can't imagine.
It's a high quality bar, but we're already underway. So the timing for the mandate and the timing for our certification and quality are pretty much aligned.
So everything's the karma's all coming together. That's what it sounds like.
That's why we're here.
That's what it sounds like to me.
That's why we're here.
Now, how wide of a beam, if you will, like up and down, does it detect? It's obviously employed in the front of the car, I would imagine. Also in the rear, or?
So over time, you'll want to see this technology be 360. The initial implementation that we're proposing is forward-facing, but ultimately you'll see side-facing and rear-facing. But in answer to your question in terms of what we call field of view, the width, our objective is to produce systems that do about 105 degrees. So we refer to that as curb to curb. So think of driving through the suburbs, right? Good size, multi-lane road, but sidewalks. Kids bouncing balls. We want to be able to see the kids bouncing the balls on the sidewalks, and we want to be able to see 200 meters down the road simultaneously.
All right, let me dig down a little bit here. Forgive me. So we know that 100% increase is at night.
Yes.
Okay. If you subtract that out of the equation, what percentage is during the daytime, not counting the last year that it's gone up so much?
Yeah. The basic statistic is that 76% of deaths occur at night. About 24% occur during the day.
Will this system work during the day too?
Of course, it works.
Wow.
It works 24/7.
So
by the way,
really is a lifesaver. I mean, it's incredible technology.
Well, let me blow your mind one more time. It works in the fog. It works in the snow.
Wow.
It works in a dust storm in Saudi Arabia.
Will it work in Scranton, Pennsylvania?
If there's no bananas on the road. That's a joke for your older.
How did you know that?
My wife is from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
You probably grew up together. Mulberry Street, of all places, she grew up on.
Monroe Avenue.
Well, I didn't grow up there. But.
You're better off. Hey, it's a small world out there.
Yeah, my wife's from Scranton.
Oh, my God.
So, by the way,
yes.
If your audience is intrigued by what I just said.
They are.
Okay. And if they actually want to see a demonstration of this technology, we have it at our booth in the West Hall with the automotives at 6867. But we also have an immersion experience. We have a scene. We're located in Rochester, New York, and in the suburbs of Fairport. We have a street scene from Fairport. You go into the immersion booth, and we actually show you a nighttime simulation, a real immersion,
right.
And we have and it includes a fog booth. So we basically fill this booth with fog.
Yeah.
We put the thermal camera and a traditional camera that's on the cars today side by side and film you. and you can see that the cameras that are on the car become completely degraded and see nothing, and the thermal camera still sees through the fog, and you can't see through the fog, but you can see us.
Can my audience see that on the web?
Yes, they can. Actually,
I need your website.
www.owlai.us.
Now I get the owl. I couldn't understand where the owl came from. I get it.
Owl see in the dark.
I get it. Chuck, thank you so much for joining us. I found that interesting, fascinating, and thank you so much for being here. Zagazun.
My pleasure.
Okay.
And I'll let my...
and you tell your wife that Don Bain said hello.
Don Bain, yeah.
Okay.
Mindy Proper was her maiden name. Don Bain.
Actually, that sounds quite familiar, but I'm a lot older than you and your wife. I'm older than I look. But that's amazing that you came from Scranton. I don't know what to say. I've been doing this for, 30, 40 years, and I never met anybody that even heard of Scranton.
Wow, yeah. How do you miss the 10,000 pounds of bananas, right?
That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank
really
you so
appreciate it.
much.
It was
I
great
enjoyed
spending the morning with you. Take care.
Thank you.
The Tech Podcast Network CES 2024 coverage is executive produced by Michelle Mendez. Technical directors are Kurt Corliss and Adam Barker. Associate producers are Nancy Ertz, Clinton Millsap, Sergio Velasquez, and Terry Willingham. Voiceover by Aaron Hurst. Our hosts are Marlo Anderson, Don Bain, Todd Cochran, Scott Ertz, and Christopher Jordan. Studio and equipment are provided by PLUGHITZ Productions. This has been a Tech Podcast Network broadcast, copyright 2024.